Former President Donald Trump addresses the Republican National Convention on its closing night. I'm Natalie Brand in Milwaukee with what to expect and what Republicans say they want to hear.
Plus, authorities in Joplin respond to a deadly two-car crash. And Missouri voters will soon decide the fate of tax-exempt status for child care centers.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
Former President Donald Trump accepts his third Republican presidential nomination on the final night of his party's national convention. This is a late edition of KOAM News. I'm Anthony Saviello. Delegates are eager to hear his first major speech after since Saturday's assassination attempt. Natalie Brand explains from the convention in Milwaukee.
Former President Donald Trump arrived to cheers on the final night of the Republican National Convention, poised to accept the party's nomination for the nation's highest office for the third time in 8 years, joining a crowd eager to hear the tone Trump will take after surviving an assassination attempt.
He has told us it will be a message of unity and love. He's told us that his original speech that he had planned to give tonight has been torn up, and so who knows what he will say.
I'd like to hear a message of conciliation. I know he's gone through a lot. It may have changed his attitude toward giving a sense of the fragility of life and how we need to make the most of every day in front of us, and perhaps some outreach to people that may show that he is the human being we believe he is.
While this week has focused on unity, bringing Republicans here together, the GOP is also focused on taking the fight to Democrats to try and win back the White House.
He has to put his energy on uniting us, giving us tough love, and just displaying his stance of power, which is what he did when he stood up, put his shoes back on, and yelled our battle cry, fight, fight, fight.
It's a rallying cry this week at the RNC, especially over top voter issues, including immigration and the economy. The newly minted Republican ticket will rally together in the battleground state of Michigan Saturday, working to carry momentum from this week's convention. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A new CBS News poll out this evening shows Trump with the growing advantage. He's up 5 points nationally now and 3 points across the key battleground states. We'll take a first look at weather with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney.
Well, we're dipping down to 60-degree temperatures now. We're getting down to the lower 60s for our overnight low. That's due to the nice northerly breeze that we have. It's bringing in that cooler air. It's going to continue for the next several days, so temperatures across the region, 70 out in Stockton, 74 in Parsons and Independence, 72 in Miami, Oswego, Sedan. So it's still a little bit warmer out in the western counties, and that's kind of the trend for the entire weekend. But temperatures are going to remain mild. We do see that northeast winds moving in, and they're going to shift a little bit more towards an easterly track as we move into the weekend. But other than that, it's going to be pretty mild. We also have some rain chances in the forecast, and we'll talk about that in just a bit.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Authorities in Joplin respond to a crash earlier in downtown Joplin. The two-vehicle crash happened just before 2:15 this afternoon at 2nd and Jackson. Joplin police say a southbound vehicle failed to yield to a westbound vehicle, resulting in the crash. Authorities say one person involved was not responsive and was rushed to an area hospital. JPD confirmed to KOAM Shannon Becker the person died a short time later. Names are being withheld pending next of kin. Police in Parsons, Kansas arrest a man for fatally shooting another man. It happened around 11 p.m. last night on the 2300 block of Appleton Street. Police say they arrived to find a man, Tyler Absher, lying in the street with a gunshot wound. Officers heard a voice tell them to check on the man because the person speaking had shot him. The voice came from Michael Morales, who was hiding behind a tree with a gun in his hand. As officers tried to arrest Morales, He tried running, but was quickly stopped. Police then found another victim, Maurice Harper, inside a home. First responders took both victims to a hospital. Absher is receiving care for his injuries, but Harper died from his. Official charges against Morales are still pending. Taking care of a loved one who has dementia can be challenging. A group of caregivers met up once a month at Oak Point Retirement Home to share their burdens. The wellness director says the biggest support can come from people who are in the same situation.
There is help out there. There are resources. People need to just reach out to other people that are going through the same thing. That is the basis of our support group. It really, truly helps.
The support group meets on the third Thursday every month. Missouri voters will decide a constitutional amendment question that would exempt child care facilities from paying property taxes. Diane Dillon is a lead pre-K teacher in Joplin and hopes that if passed, the property tax exemption will benefit the children.
Anything that gives them money to be able to put towards our children or put towards their facilities or their workers would be beneficial for us, because that's what we want for our kids.
Voters will decide the question on August 6th. The Northeast Tech Afton campus served as launch pad for a collaboration with Tango Flight. Students enrolled in the STEM program got to earn their wings through building an aircraft meeting FAA standards. The project will expose students to an array of STEM principles, including engineering, aerodynamics, and electronics, as well as provide them with practical skills and insights into the aviation industry.
So this is my way of bringing local industry to our students. We have mentors from the local community that are related to aviation that are coming in to help. So they're going to be bringing not only their industry knowledge to help our students learn practical skills, but they're going to be able to talk about their aviation experience, their careers, and students will learn even more about aviation careers.
A representative from Tango Flight will pilot the completed aircraft, showcasing the students' achievement and dedication to excellence in May of 2026. The Cherokee Nation looks to expand its footprint on gaming. The Sooner States, that story is coming up. And later, the city of Joplin invites the public out to its monthly Third Thursday celebration. The Cherokee Nation is expanding its casino footprint by applying to build its 10th casino in Oklahoma near Bartlesville and is building another northwest of Little Rock, Arkansas. The gaming industry is competitive in Oklahoma with 33 tribes using their gaming licenses. But as Chloe Abbott reports, industry advocates say there's still room for more.
There are more than 130 casinos in Oklahoma, and more could be coming, according to Matt Morgan with the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association.
There's going to be competition, we understand that.
The Cherokee Nation Businesses agrees, especially on its reservation. It applied to build a new casino on U.S. Highway 75 south of Bartlesville city limits in June, only a few miles from the Osage Casino that opened less than a year ago.
We think that the Bartlesville area in general has the capacity to have demand for that facility as well.
Legalizing sports betting is something Chuck Garrett, CEO of Cherokee Nation Businesses, is ready to add into all of its casinos. But he says it can't do that until state lawmakers are ready to have a conversation about it.
Clearly, the state of Oklahoma, the legislature, the governor has to be engaged in that as well. And so we'll be there willing to engage at the right time and hopefully be able to offer that to our customers.
In the meantime, it's expanding to build a casino in Arkansas and already operating in Mississippi.
What we are seeing is revenues that could be going to the state are now going to other states. And so I think that ultimately just makes sense for the state of Oklahoma and the tribes to come together and move forward with sports betting.
You know, let's look at sports betting. Let's look at how we define it, what everyone's comfortable with operating, and then what makes economic sense in terms of fee sharing. And I don't think that's a long conversation.
The new legislative session in the Sooner State kicks off February 3rd at the state capitol. The Social Security Administration has announced a change to how people access their online portal. That will affect tens of millions of people. Users who created an online account before September 18th, 2021 will now have to transition to a login.gov or an ID.me account to access their online services. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger appeared on CBS Mornings to discuss the important tools on the site.
There are great tools. You can estimate how much money you're going to get in Social Security. You can look at the different choices. And it's important that you do this because we want everybody to make this decision with a lot of information in hand.
The Social Security Administration says the website changes will not disrupt payments to anyone currently receiving benefits. Roughly 40% of Americans rely on Social Security alone for their retirement. A Bankrate survey found more than 1/3 of Americans are turning to side hustles to bring in extra money. If you're one, there are some important things to keep in mind. First, if you make more than $400 in a calendar year, you need to keep a record of income received and any business expense that is related. Also, Uncle Sam will take a slice of your side hustle income. That means that you need to estimate the taxes that will be due next April and keep that money set aside. It's the third Thursday of July, which means artists, vendors, food trucks, and hundreds of people flocked to downtown Joplin. One of the many activities this month was the STEAM Agonation Exploration hosted by the Creative Learning Alliance. The group hosted water-themed activities for kids to enjoy while learning about the vital liquid.
Yeah, so I want them to see without too much high-level book learning. That's important too, but at the ages that you see behind me, I want them to see that science is in everything, and the more you understand about how the world around you works, the better prepared you are to operate within it.
Third Thursdays take place in Joplin every month through October. A little later, kids of all ages take in a magic show at the Miami Public Library.
And we do have mild temperatures, but we're looking ahead to some rain chances in the weekend. We'll talk about it right after the break. Well, these mild temperatures are definitely something to enjoy, and cool evenings as well. We'll go ahead and take a look outside Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. It's a pretty cool night out there, dropping down to the 60s. It's also pretty clear as well. We do have some rain chances in the forecast, but not until later on this weekend. So until then, we're going to enjoy the sunny skies and the mild temperatures. So today, we don't have anything going on. Those mild temperatures stick around at least through the early days of next week. Yesterday we got up to about 85, and today we got up to about 82, 83. So it's pretty cool out there. I know I was outside, so the sun kind of still heats us up, but if you're in the shade, we've got that nice northerly breeze. It's pretty nice out there. Still got some dry conditions, especially out in these western counties. That's giving us a little unfortunate dry conditions. Not quite in the drought, but we're getting there unless we get some rain. Luckily, we've got some rain chances in the forecast. Tomorrow, it's not coming in yet. We've got sunny skies, 84 for a high, probably mid to upper 80s, especially out in the western counties. It's going to be a little bit warmer out there. A few clouds, but temperatures remain below average. Average has been about 90 degrees for this time of year, but we're sticking in the 80s at least through early next week. So we've got these rain chances coming in Saturday early afternoon, mostly cloudy skies making their way in, and then we got a nice storm line moving through a boundary. Looks like could be strong gusty winds along with some of those storms. So that's coming in later Saturday evening around 8:30 p.m. And then again, we've got those development of more widespread scattered thunderstorms towards southeastern, Kansas, and even southwestern Missouri. Joplin's getting some rain, so this is early Sunday morning, about 3:30, 4 a.m. Scattered thunderstorm chances continue well into the afternoon on Sunday, though, and actually they're going to continue through early Tuesday. So we're going to get a few days of rain and a lot of rain accumulation as well. So out in Fredonia, up to 1.5 inches. And let's see, out in Joplin, about ½ an inch, Neosho, almost an inch. So in some areas, we could see quite a bit of rainfall, maybe focused on localized flooding. We're going to definitely keep it in mind when we get into the weekend, although we're not really looking at any severe threat with any of these storms. Just some good rainfall and maybe some stronger wind gusts. After that, temperatures warm up only to the low 90s for a few days, but they drop back down. So we're going to enjoy those mild temperatures, mid 80-degree weather, and the lows in the 60s. Like I said, we've got those rain chances starting to kick up late Saturday evening and overnight.
Could always use some more rain.
That's, what I've learned.
In small amounts.
Yes. I did hear about Miami deals with a lot of flooding issues.
Yeah.
I know probably a few areas around here do. So small amounts is always good. We're not getting a ton of rainfall. It's going to be like over a course of a few days.
Yeah.
So
better than drought, though, I would say.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think that's the consensus.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. The Woodson County Fair is in full swing this week with livestock shows, 4-H food sales, and family-friendly activities. Today, young exhibitors weighed in their animals, preparing to show them off. For one season exhibitor, the fair represents a lifetime of learning. Still ahead, the Joplin Outlaws try to keep their winning streak alive. And an all-state basketball player from Girard makes his college commitment. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. Pittsburgh State softball is coming off a record-setting season this spring. The Gorillas are retooling in the offseason and just picked up a local commit from Fort Scott High School. Fort Scott rising senior Allie Brown commits to Pittsburgh State, according to her Twitter. As a junior this year, Brown helped lead the Tigers to a regional title and an appearance in the 4A state tournament. She was named a first-team All-State infielder by Sports in Kansas after the season wrapped up and will play her senior year at Fort Scott before heading to PSU. More commitment news out of Southeast Kansas. Girard rising senior Aiden Troike announces his commitment to play basketball at John Wood Community College in Quincy, Illinois. Troike stands at 6'4" and was a third-team All-State performer for the Trojans this past season, according to Keisha Covered. Well, we have plenty of summer collegiate baseball in the 4 states this evening. After the Nevada Griffins and Joplin Outlaws both played doubleheaders last night, they're each in action again this evening. Outlaws come into the night winners of 3 straight games. They host the Texarkana Rhinos. Michael Castillo gets the start on the mound for Joplin. The lefty out of Baldwin, Missouri goes 6 complete innings, striking out 7 batters on the night. Into the second inning, though, the game tied at 1 run apiece, bases loaded, and Andre Jackson hammers this ball to the opposite field. That clears the short wall in right for a grand slam. Second home run of the summer for Jackson. He picks up 4 RBIs. Outlaws up 5-1. Into the 5th, Joplin leads 5-2. Sloan Laird singles into right. Rayvon Morgan throws a bullet home. He gets the runner out at the plate. That's good for an outfield assist. This one goes back and forth, but Missouri Southern's Will Doherty comes through with a walk-off single to win it in the bottom of the 10th. Final score, 11-10. Over at Lions Stadium in Nevada, the Griffins play their second-to-last home game of the regular season against the Chillicothe Mudcats tonight. Griffins win it 10-7. These two will see each other again tomorrow. Major League Baseball returns to action out of the All-Star break tomorrow. Today, all 30 Major League clubs release their 2025 regular season schedules. We'll take a look at some of the Royals' schedule. They open the season at home against the Guardians on March 27th, which is the earliest opening day in franchise history for Kansas City. The I-70 series against the Cardinals, 2 games longer in 2025. Then KC finishes the year on the road in Sacramento, which is where the Athletics will play their home games the next season. Cardinals start the season on March 27th as well. They host the Minnesota Twins. Second time in the last 3 years that the Redbirds have had an interleague matchup on opening day. Cardinals won't see the Cubs until late June, but they end the regular season with a 3-game series on the road at Wrigley Field. Back to what I mentioned about the Royals playing in Sacramento. That's one of the weird things that's going to happen in Major League Baseball the next 3 years. They're in the process of moving to Vegas, but until 2028, what was the Oakland A's are now playing in Sacramento.
It's going to be an interesting time for them. Absolutely. Thanks, John. That's a look at sports. We're back with more after this. The Miami Public Library today conjured up the world of magic. They hosted a performance from local magician Kevin Wade. The hour-long magic show was free to the public and available for the whole family.
All different things that they can learn. This is really just kind of incorporating learning in a fun way. So if they even learn one thing today that they can take from this, it's a success.
Kevin Wade is based out of Miami, but performs at venues throughout the area. Love a good illusion. You know it's not an illusion? How amazing this weather has been lately.
Well, I'm glad I'm not making people mad. This is a nice change of pace. Temperatures in the mid-80s for the rest of the weekend. We've also got lows in the 60s, so it's going to be pretty cool nights. Some rain starts to move in late Saturday evening, and those thunderstorm chances continue pretty sporadically all the way through Tuesday.
And a final magic trick from sports as well.
Special Olympics Kansas comes to SEK in Pittsburgh this weekend, so we're going to have more on that tomorrow and Saturday.
Right on. Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for watching. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.